So I think my last video was about 3 months ago about my new Hasselblad 907X camera, and it's already gone because I sold it a few weeks ago. So there were two reasons why I sold that camera, even though I really loved it. I love the camera. So in today's video, I want to share why I ended up selling this beautiful 907 camera, only using after 5 months. So before I sold this camera, I went out to nature to photos and to enjoy the last moment with this camera. It was a beautiful weather and I had a bit of hike with this camera to find out some nice frames that I want to capture. Before I share why I sold this camera, I want to share some of the reasons that I loved about this camera, because I really like this camera except those two reasons. So the first one was design. I really liked about this design. It's a small, it's a beautiful, and it's a lightweight. It's just a beautiful camera. As I mentioned all the time, the design of the camera is important for me, because if the camera is, nice looking, I tend to bring it up more so I can have more opportunity to capture what I want. So I've been carrying that camera everywhere, even at workplace. So I was able to capture a lot of beautiful images that I wanted to. If I had a bigger camera, I wouldn't able to capture it. And one of the famous photographers said the best camera is the one that you have on your hand, which was Hasselblad 907X camera for me for last 5 months. The second one is a small form factor. It's very tiny camera. If you compare to any other full frame or medium format mirrorless camera, this is way smaller than any other camera. So as you know, or as you can see here, I bring good amount of film camera gear. If you look at inside my backpack on this day, I had a Linhof large format film camera with 3 lenses, a Hasselblad medium format film camera with 2 lenses, and digital camera, and also some other accessories. To be honest, I brought a little bit too much on that day, but I wanted to bring it all over because I was able to fit into that, backpack, which was fine. So image quality is another aspect. As a tool of capturing photos, image quality is one of the most important aspects. To be honest, all the camera you can buy in the camera store at the moment, they all produce beautiful images because all the technology is pretty good. And with this camera, I was really happy with the result. The color was amazing, and the detail from each file from the medium format was amazing. I'm not sure whether it's because of the Hasselblad lens or it's because of the medium format sensor, which I never used before, but I really love the result, and I have a number of favorite shots that I've made with this camera. So other benefit of using the 907X camera was I was able to using the 907X camera, the digital back, into the film camera. So some people might ask why you want to use digital back into the old film camera. It's just all about the experience. I loved it, I'm enjoying it, so I'm using it. Having an option to use on the film camera is another fun. Anyway, I've been using this digital back into the film camera quite a lot for the last 5 months. So let's talk about 2 reasons that makes me to sell this camera. So recently I finished my first photography project in sand dune, and I'm making a photography zine at the moment. So I visit sand dune quite often for last year or so, and I've been to sand dune with my Hasselblad 907X camera several times, and also I went to the sand dune with G about a month ago. So G says he hasn't been to sand dune for quite a while, so he wanted to join with me. Anyway, we had a really good time on the day, taking photos during the day till sunset. So the first reason I sold this camera was weather sealing. So weather sealing is one of the most important aspects for my photography, because I go to sand dune which have a lot of dust, and I go to the mountain, I shoot in the rain, I go to the misty area and rainy condition as well. But I feel like it's a modular system. It has a more opportunity to have issues with the weather sealing, so I wasn't really confident using it in many different situations. And also when I'm using it on the digital back into the film camera, the sensor itself is exposed to the air, which produce some of the dust onto the sensor. So I was cleaning the sensor quite often. Clean the sensor, I'm not really confident, so I tried to avoid, but this camera I wasn't really able to do that, so it was quite big disadvantage as a landscape photographer. But the main reason I sold this camera wasn't about weather sealing. It's all about money. So as you probably know, Hasselblad lenses are so expensive, very expensive. So I had one lens, 45mm pancake lens. It was a reasonably quite cheap lens, but I wanted to have a wider angle lens and telephoto lens. The wider angle will be 21mm or 30mm, which is above 7,000 or 8,000 Australian dollar at the moment for the new one. For the telephoto, it only produces up to 135, which is not enough, and even that lens is extremely expensive. So my conclusion was, okay, this is not for me at this stage. I really love the camera, I really like the image quality, but if I'm not comfortably spending money for my lens, it's not for me at this stage. So I sold it, but actually I didn't sell it. I exchanged with one of these cameras that I'm recording at the moment. If you're following my Instagram, you know what I'm using at the moment, but if you haven't checked it out, make a guess on the comment what I'm using at the moment. It is full frame sensor. It's not a medium format, it's a mirrorless camera. So make a guess on the comments what I'm using at the moment. I'll show you in the next video probably. But anyway, that's the reason, money. I'm not sure whether I make a right decision or not. I think it's the right decision for me. So that's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next video with this new camera. Other than that, if you do have any question, leave me a comment.